It all starts in the heart. All of it. It all starts in the heart. Well, what is the heart? Something that we have to identify first, because it's very important. The heart is very important. It's mentioned in the text, in the holy text. Christ tells us, and the good text tells us that we have to protect our hearts above all things, because from it flows life. But we also can't trust our hearts, because our hearts can be deceitful and easily deceived, right? So it's all in the heart. It all starts in the heart. The heart condition is extremely important. The heart condition, the heart maintenance is extremely important. That's, in a nutshell, I guess, if I have to narrow down the kingdom of heaven, is basically in the posture maintained, in the maintenance, the responsibility of maintaining the heart, in the correct heart posture. It's all in the heart. And it's one of those things, right? It's like, it's difficult, right? We have to keep that balance, right? We have to try to keep that balance. Our responsibilities that that Christ lays upon us, is to do our due diligence. We have to do our due diligence of seeking His kingdom first, right? And knowing what that means, knowing what that represents, to seek His kingdom first rather than to seek the world first. Because a lot of people fall in the deception of, oh yeah, I put God first, because their deeds seem to appear to the physical eye to be benevolent, to be righteous, because it's a righteous act that you keep doing over and over and over again, right? But a lot of people utilize that as a cloak, as a cover for the actual heart condition, heart posture that they have inside. And again, you can lie to man, but you can't lie to Yah. You can't lie. You cannot lie to God, because God knows all and sees all in the very, very depths of your heart. So it's all in the heart. It all flows from the heart. It all starts in the heart. It's all in the heart. The heart being that core foundation of where all emanates from in this walk of ours, right? So why is it so important? Why does Christ preach so much? Why does He talk so much over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Seek ye not the world. Seek the kingdom of heaven first. And then. It's not to say that your concerns and your worries are not righteous. It's not to say that they don't matter. It's not to say that. No, it does matter. It does matter that you want to put a roof over your family's head. It does matter if your children eat today. It does matter if if you're able to have enough gas in the tank, emotionally, spiritually, physically, to not just help yourself but to help others. It does matter. Man, look at this. Jeez. It's not to say that it doesn't matter, but it could get overwhelming when you try, especially in today's day that we're living in. It could get extremely overwhelming when you measure everything to versus your moral compass, the correct moral compass that you should have according to the standards of Christ. It's extremely overwhelming when you're trying to live life as a follower, as a righteous follower of the true only one Messiah, and navigating in this devil system. It gets extremely overwhelming. That's where faith comes in. The faith is the definition. It's basically you trusting your well-being in something that you cannot see, something that you cannot physically see, taste, feel, or touch. It's you trusting in the Father in spirit and truth for all the things that you cannot see happening in the physical, that you cannot logically put together in the physical, that you have no power of in the physical. You're trusting for those things in faith. But some folks like to claim that they're doing Yah's work, they're doing righteous work by even though it gets to a point where they can no longer sustain righteousness and navigating in the system without doing unrighteous acts. Okay, internally, remember, the Father sees all. Internally, okay, being righteous internally upon yielding that righteous act that they desire, and they try to do it themselves. They're not able to do it themselves in a righteous form, so then they resort to unrighteousness, and the factor there is lack of faith. They go ahead and they yield to unrighteous methods to yield the quote-unquote righteous desired outcome, because they lack the faith. And without faith, you can't please the Father. You see how it all just comes right back down. It all comes right back down to you do what you can do according to the convictions that you have received, according to the amount of truth and knowledge that the Father has revealed to you. You have to yield to those convictions. You have to do what is right, what is correct in front of the eyes of the Father, through the Spirit of the Father, in front of the Spirit of the Father. You have to act righteously. Oh, but if I don't do this and that and the other, it won't get done, and this and that and the other. You have to act righteously. But first, the Father will not fault you for the things that you do not know. And you can lie to man saying that you didn't know about that thing, but the Father knows about what you do know, because His Spirit is the one that convicts you. You see what I mean? So it's the lack of faith. And a man that continues to lie to himself, because it's a lie nonetheless, a man that continues to lie to himself saying, oh, I'm doing all of these things righteously in front of God for God's righteous purpose. But you, that man and God very well know, because remember, again, everything that you lie to yourself long enough about, you start to believe in that lie. But any man that lies long enough eventually sees those actions as normality, sees those actions of unrighteousness internally as normality. So where will that unrighteousness and that wretchedness end up? Because everything you feed grows, and if what you feed is unrighteousness, those little seeds would eventually grow, and that unrighteous tree will continue to grow. And everything that you thought that it was a necessary evil, you know who says that, right? Yeah, our good buddies, the Freemasons, say that. Satanists say that. Okay, Luciferians say that, a necessary evil. Only evil says that it's a necessary evil. or it's just a little white lie. It's just a little necessary evil to get the greater good. No, you're not functioning under the authority of Christ. You do not know Christ at that point. You're no longer connected with the Spirit of Christ at that point. And if you're not connected with the Spirit of Christ, which is the only way to the Father, then you're not connected to the Father. Therefore, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to others about being righteous. See? So it all flows from the heart. It is the heart condition. It is the heart posture. It is the heart of David that pleased the Father. It is the heart of David that the Father created to be like his own. Okay? That got him to that position. There was no greater man. There was no greater man at that time to be placed on that platform for the sake of being the voice of Yah to his people according to his own heart. Was he perfect? No, he was not. Of course he wasn't. He wasn't supposed to be. The Father, I'm convinced, more than convinced, that the Father allows us to continue to have certain crutches on purpose, because we are never to exalt ourselves. And he does that for our own good. Least we end up like Lucifer, the brightest, most beautiful angel in all of heaven, thinking that somehow we are worthy of the throne of the Creator. He does that for our own good. Moses was a great man with great purpose, and he didn't make it to the promised land, the terrestrial, physical promised land. He didn't make it because he stroked the rock in anger, because he was frustrated. He did so many great things through the Spirit of the Father. He did so many great things, but Moses, on purpose, did that surprise the Father? No. That did not surprise the Father. Moses was an elect. Still remains. Moses is an elect of Yah, of our Father in heaven. Moses was never meant to enter the promised land. That was the task for the next chosen. But he led them all the way up to that point. He led them all the way up to that point. He fulfilled his purpose. Yah knew that it wasn't, because once he got to the promised land, what would have been the nature? I mean, you saw what happened. He literally leaves to the mountain to talk to Yah. He comes back, and the people have created a god out of gold. I mean, wow. Imagine if Moses would have led the people into the promised land. They would have worshipped him as a god. You see what I mean? The Father does that for our own benefit, because he knows our wretched ways, our sinful flesh, our flesh of sin. But because he loves us so much, he hinders us from the things that will destroy us. It all starts in the heart, which goes to my next point. Those things that you believe that are weighing you down, those things that, oh Father, I know you have all the power. I know you have all the power. Why don't you just lift this from me? Why don't you just lift this from me? Why? The extreme case of Job. Right? Why don't you just, but I serve you, Father. I serve you. I do the righteous things. In my heart, you see my heart. You see what man can't see. Why am I dealing with this? Why is this upon me? Oh, my son. Oh, my daughter. My ways are not your ways. You do not see what I see, and you do not comprehend what I comprehend about you, about your outcome. I am molding you. I am shaping you. I am fixing, healing your heart. I am creating the situations necessary to mold you, because the eternal outcome is more important than the temporary outcome of this physical life. What does Christ say to his people, to the people? And you don't have to take this literally, but in a spiritual sense, it is literal. If your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of heaven, my Father's house, without a hand, without an eye, than for all of your body to perish in the lake of fire. We may not understand at times why these things happen in our lives when we believe, when we trust in the Father. As a matter of fact, for a lot of us, I'm pretty sure it's all of us, but those watching at any given point in time, as soon as you said yes and you meant that true commitment in your heart with the Father, with the Creator, things didn't get better, did they? Things started getting worse. Things started getting crazy. Things started getting weird. Family members started flipping on you. You knowing in your heart that you are right, and you leaving behind a lifestyle that wasn't correct, a lifestyle that they would once admit was incorrect and was harmful, and even hurt their heart to see you. But because you chose this path of trusting in the Father rather than a different path, you know, the devil has many paths for you to take. A path that would be more acceptable, a path that they could understand. They can't find joy in you leaving the wretched path behind that you lived. You see? Because in their spirits, and they haven't made that commitment, and their spirits don't comprehend, and their flesh of sin has given way to the enemy, and the enemy in them fights against righteousness. And a lot of our lives got more difficult when we said yes to Christ and no to the world. Because if they persecuted him, if they did that to him, they will do it unto us. He tells us that himself. It is an honor. It was an honor for Peter to be hung upside down upon death. He willingly laid his life down. He went from chopping that ear. You see? When I was young, when I was a child, I did as a child. When you mature in spirit, when you mature with the Father, things change because you see the broader picture. Peter went from chopping that ear to being hung upside down because in his heart, he wasn't even worthy to die. Like his Messiah, like his Redeemer. He said, no, flip that thing around. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to die the same death as my master. You see, we want to see through the eyes of the one that made us. In order to see, in order to hear, we have to be closer. In order to be closer, we have to deny more of ourselves and our wants and our needs. And we have to bind the strong man within us. We have to bind the strong man. Another great parable. Okay? We have to restrain our flesh when it's screaming in pain. Why this? Why that? We have to restrain our tongue from cursing our own life. The Job story, the Job effect. What a great man, Job. For the glory of the Father, what a great man, Job. It goes right back to the sower in the field. Job didn't care. Job didn't care that he was toiling all day. The Father tests our hearts. Not because he hates us. Not because he's being Not because he's being mean with us. The Father tests our hearts because he's trying to purify us, because he loves us enough to not to leave us the same. We are made of sin. We're sinful creatures. He doesn't want to leave us the same. It's a new birth, the renewal of your mind. He renews our heart. Gold is purified through fire. When the fire hits the gold, all the impurities separate themselves from the purity of the gold. The Father purifies us through the fire, and the fire burns. So, thought of the day. It all starts in the heart. It all ends in the heart. Kingdom of heaven is within you. The heart is your upmost core, fundamental, your utmost core foundation of who you are as the being that you were created to be. That's where the kingdom of heaven happens. So you can keep looking outward, or you can start looking inward, and you'll find more answers when you do so. It's easy to look outside, but can you look inside? Can you truly strip yourself naked in front of the Creator and be satisfied with yourself? And if the answer is no, which it will certainly be, it will certainly be no, then those are the things you need to work on. Because the Spirit of the Father will hone directly to those areas in your life and show you immediately. When you truly humble your heart in Christ, when you truly, truly humble your heart to seek the Father through the Son, that's what it means. Only through the Son. Because only through the blueprint of everything that Christ is can you reach the Father, the Creator. When you truly do that, then you're getting somewhere. Okay? None of us are holier than anyone else. None of us are greater than anyone else. Doesn't matter if I've been toiling for this long and you just started yesterday. I'm not better than you because I've been working the day. We will all get the same recompense at the end of the day. And that's eternity next to our Creator, instead of eternal torture in the lake of fire. I rejoice that someone will come to the field to work the field tomorrow. And I rejoice. I don't consider myself greater than anyone that just started or is starting off, or those that are to come. It brings me joy. It's another telltale sign of those that claim to be working the field for long or for any period of time. They feel a sense of entitlement. No, you should feel joy in your heart and be full of joy to teach what you have learned, to help their process to be even quicker. It should bring you joy to help those that are coming to Christ, that are coming to the Messiah, that are coming to life, that are coming onto the new birth. It should bring you joy. It shouldn't be a competition. It's not a competition. Message of the day. Bless you guys.